Hi, I'm Chris James, and you're watching Healthy Alternative. Today, I want to talk about the benefits of Michael, and today we're going to be talking about...
Today we'll be making one of my favorite soups.
Welcome to the DR96 Challenge.
I am Animated Mel, and I am your mental and wellness coach. For
As always, perfection is not needed, but consistency.
We must first lovingly accept what is. You can't heal a body you can't.
We're going to bring up your next speaker. That's going to be the wonderful, magnificent Chris James.
If you talk about how much you hate your fat, your body has been working all this time to keep you alive. I don't think anybody in my circle understands impossible.
Swear.
How can you possibly still be laughing?
No, I was laughing at. I was trying to contemplate how many intros I'm about to play. I was like, oh, we went halfway there. We ain't go full power, but you know,
You have that's one intro.
Oh, okay. It looked like two. But,
it's like watching an episode of One Piece.
I know.
What's going on, everybody? How are you all feeling? It is Sunday, March 30th. It is the last day of March. We're about to go into spring.
No,
huh?
not the last
Oh,
day.
we got one more day.
Mm-hmm.
We're about to go into the spring time.
Already there.
When was this? When did spring start?
You're a few weeks.
20th.
21st was the spring.
Huh?
March 21st.
January, February, March, December, January, February, March.
Right.
Oh, y'all might be right. Well, either way it goes, when I said it was spring, people tried to tell me it ain't spring yet, and I was talking about it being spring 2 weeks ago. So I don't like all these technicalities. You know what told me it was spring? The trees. The trees start to bloom. The flowers. I was like, it's springtime. Happy birthday, Earth. Earth Day. Okay.
April 20th. Mm-hmm.
Happy New Year and whatnot.
Right. Happy New Year. All right. So today we are going to get into we're going to get into it a little bit because I know you guys have been refeeding this weekend. Well, first, I guess let's do a sound check. Can you guys hear us and see us fine? Everybody do a shout out.
Hello,
You're...
I am Animated.
Hello, everyone. Oh, happy Sunday, y'all.
Oh, so everybody's going to just talk at the same time.
I mean, we didn't know.
Okay, we see some yeses. All right. Hey, you guys are going to be very happy to know I figured out how to get my camera to turn on properly. Like, literally right before this call started, I've been messing with it for the past 7 minutes, and I figured it out, I think. So we'll see if we can do it 2 times in a row. All right, so you guys been refeeding this weekend, and I'm very proud. I've heard a lot of people talk about their experience so far and what they've been doing. I've seen the posts, people doing their colonics, their sun water, their fruit bowls. Like, yeah. My mom messaged me, was like, I decided to do the raw sushi wraps. I'm like, for real? She's like, yeah, it tastes like fish. I feel like I'm eating fish. I'm like, I don't think that's true. I don't think that sushi tastes like fish. I mean, obviously the nori wraps are like fishy, but it ain't like a filet of fish or something.
Yeah, I mean, it just probably reminds her of the sea, like that. It's that vibe. Probably not fish per se, but it's that vibe.
She don't eat that kind of stuff normally, and she just came off a dry fast, so she's more sensitive to it.
The power of the mind.
That makes sense. Do y'all know she likes fish or doesn't like it?
Of course,
I thought she liked fish.
She does.
Okay, she may seem like she didn't like it, but anyway, she had a really good refeed so far, and She told me she had like a big old mug of lemon water, and she might have put something else in there. I don't remember everything, but she had messaged me about I don't know her exact numbers to say, but I know she had gained some weight, and I guess she didn't expect to. So it prompted me once again. I'm so grateful to my mom for just sharing what she's experiencing, because I think she represents the community very well. And it prompted me to want to ask some questions. So what I want you guys to do, because we're going to get to some questions that might have got submitted on the form. We're going to get to that. But I want you guys to put in the chat, what was the weight that you weighed coming off of the fast? And then maybe if you guys can talk about or put in what your weight is like today, if you weighed yourself today, as we're kind of like getting ready to go back into it, coming off of the refeed basically, because I think I want to say somebody had said they had gained 10 pounds or something like that, 7 or 10 pounds. I know I saw 5 pounds. So between 5 and 10 pounds is the amount of weight I have seen people say they've gained. Now, obviously, the people that talking about they gaining 10 pounds, they also told me they lost like 25 pounds or more. So I'm just curious to see what you guys are looking like. I'm gonna tell you what I told her to do. And actually, I think she had already done it. Hopefully you guys got your inches when you started. So like you took your weight, you took your inches, so that you have a good picture of where you're starting. The thing we talk about the most is the weight you lose when you dry fast or fast in general. And then the weight you regain, especially when you dry fast and you start to hydrate, that is not the same weight that you lost. Meaning a pound is a pound, right? But a pound of water is different from a pound of metal, iron, right? Like it's different. It's completely different things. So even though you guys might see weight come back, if you check your inches, you will probably find that you do not see your inches change dramatically in correlation to your weight, if that makes sense. And the reason why that is because, look, we dried ourselves out, right? To a degree. We got rid of a lot of inflammation. We got rid of water retention. And so then what happens is those atrophied receptors are going to be ready to absorb. So then you start drinking, you start drinking structured water, you start eating hydrating fruits and vegetables, and the body is just sucking it all in. We have to think, if your cells were dehydrated, you guys, 70% water when you should be closer to like 90%. So you're severely dehydrated. You do something that allows the body to shed a lot of waste and material. The cells open up, and then you start taking in water. You're going to retain that water, but it's different from how you retained it when it was outside of the cells, right? Does that make sense? So I know you guys are like, oh, I gained 5, I gained 10. I get it. Pay attention to the body holistically. How do you feel? How are you moving? What's your cognitive function? Like for me personally, like I have steps going up to my room. I'm like, bro, I can feel that I'm lighter. I can feel that I'm lighter. My joint feels better. Like I can feel it. It's weird. It's like you're using more energy to go up and down the steps because you're used to being 20 pounds heavier. Like you just naturally use more strength. So I just wanted to kind of start the call off like that, and then give the coaches an opportunity to kind of chime in. John, is there anything that you've seen that you want to address, or any advice you want to kind of kick us off with?
I don't know if there's anything I necessarily want to address. There was advice to kick off with. I mean, I think people, from what I've seen, people have done extremely well on this fast, and I know that was the dry fasting has been a kind of concern for a while, but maybe it's because it's new, maybe because it's more powerful of a process, but people seem to have done so well on it, and people wondering, it's like, oh, did I break my fast correctly? that was a question I got in my inbox, and it's like, so long as you're not chugging water to to start rehydrating and everything like we've mentioned, it's like it's not too difficult, but people wanting to know like how much they should be drinking and everything. And I just like, just start really slow. Get a shot glass of get a shot glass and just drink the water out of that. It really helps to force you to not overdo it. Which it's a technique that I've used, uh, but yeah, I don't know if anybody else is feeling like me. I feel, as I fasted this week, I had some dry fasting, and I feel different. I don't know if it's just a me thing, but there's been some changes and everything, but I feel different, and I don't know, maybe it's just the energy about the whole thing, holistically, but I think it definitely seems like everyone has been doing incredibly well with this, and um, for all you that might be, yeah, well, I did the first round, so I don't got to do the second round. I'm like, the second round is here it's here, and it's you made it through the first one. You can lean on that experience, the self efficacy, and you can do it again and have a successful one. I'd say, listen to how you feel, because that's one again. I felt different on this refeed. It's been I haven't been hungry yesterday or today. I ate, but it's kind of just like, and it's usually one of those things where I'm clamoring to, oh, let me make sure I enjoy my eating while I can. But it's been so strange. It's like my stomach is just settled. Well, you can eat, okay, don't overdo it, but so I think things you get to a point where you're okay, right? You're okay. And if you feel like you're okay, I'm like, you feel like you're good to go, then take advantage of that energy and hit this next phase, because that makes it easier when you're not having to, when you're not kind of going crazy, clamoring for that next fix, that next set of calories, you know what I'm saying? So I say take advantage of that. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's again, I haven't seen anything crazy, but I think people have been doing so good, and that's incredible to see that.
Yeah. Listen, this weight, y'all, I'm looking at these weights. Y'all are doing very well.
Very well.
Like, John, what you're talking, this whole experience has been very different.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe it was the way that was all set up. You guys are taking this very seriously. Like, I'm seeing people really follow the protocol like more closely than typical. I mean, y'all are doing very well. And also, I've noticed for those the people who lost the most amount of weight, they also have quote unquote bigger numbers as far as how much they gain back, but it's more of a percentage thing, I think. Right? Like, there's a percentage thing that's happening. People are gaining a certain amount of percentage of the weight loss back, and it looks very good. Go ahead, Steve. Did you want to?
Yeah, I might as well go. So interestingly, I guess we're on the same wavelength, because what you talked about was exactly what I was planning on talking about. So I won't really go too deep into that, but these numbers that I'm seeing are amazing. And not amazing as in just like, oh, you guys are losing so much weight, but no, it's the refeed numbers. We have to understand that the larger you are, the more inflammation you're going to have, the more weight loss you're going to have as you're going through the fasting period. 100% dependent upon how you are eating, and even before that, how you are drinking is going to play a major role in the amount of weight that you gain. So in the video that the live that I did on Wednesday, one of the things that I suggested as one of my tips was, if you're nervous, or if you're just like, I know if I see numbers go up, I'm going to get demotivated. Don't get on the scale, because all of the numbers that you're going to see, it's literally just water. It's water, it's food that's in your system, and it can be demotivating for some people. And juice can, of course, make you gain more. So I would, if we took a poll, we would probably find the people that gained the most weight probably were doing either more juice or they just simply were just eating more, right? But the good thing is that all of this weight is simply just, as Chris stated, your store is filling back up. It's just like if you were, you make these purchases and you have we all have cabinets and what are they called? Pantries, right? And as your family eats and goes through the food, right, the stores get low. When they get low, what do? You do your big grocery run. You go to Costco. You do all these things and you refill everything back up. It's the exact same thing, right? But once again, the good thing is, and as you guys have been seeing in the chat, a lot of the people that have even gained weight, right? Someone said their waist beads, even after their refeed, are actually fitting looser. People's rings are getting looser even after the refeed. So you're not gaining fat. You're not even really gaining inflammation. A lot of it is literally just your body holding on to the water, the hydration. It's food in your system. And what you will see, or what you can expect, is, if not all of that, most of that weight that you gain will be lost on the very next cycle.
Yep.
So just understand that weight will come off. Well, and I'm sorry, not the next cycle, the first day of the cycle. Excuse me. So, and of course, you're still going to be losing fat and everything on that first day as well. So, as I normally say, for when we do these cycling type fasts, the biggest day and the most important day of your program in general is going to be tomorrow, right? There's going to be a lot of people that are going to struggle to kind of restart, and don't take your results, kind of like John was saying, don't take your results and just be like, you know what? I did good. I'm struggling today and I did good. No, lock in, like go into with the mindset of, you know what? Yesterday's history, right? Tomorrow's a mystery, right? But today I'm going to give 100% as if I haven't done anything, right? Go into with the mindset of, this is fresh. It's a whole new cycle and I'm starting brand new. Your low weight where you are now is now the starting weight and you're going into it renewed. So just be encouraged.
Yeah. The comments, the waist bead comments, the inches comments, all of that stuff, man. This is why we try to get you guys to understand the dynamic nature of your body. It's all very exciting, and we shouldn't be fearful of the numbers. We should just look to understand them. But as Steven stated, tomorrow. So when we're going to start our fast tomorrow. So then by Tuesday, when you go to weigh in, you're probably going to see a big day. You're probably going to see a big day, right? And then what that'll let you know is, boom, you're right back on track to start pacing again to, wherever you left off. This is why the rolling cycles are so powerful. This is why I like them so much. And as many of you in the chat are saying, I'm not even hungry. Food ain't all that no more. Like, I'm not thinking about food the way that. What you all are experiencing is an accelerated detox. It's a mental detox. So we're getting rid of the cravings. There's a physical detox, meaning your ghrelin production has calmed. So the hunger is connected to the ghrelin production, but you let your digestive system go completely to rest. So ghrelin wasn't firing. So now you're creating a new habit for your body. All right. So someone said we need 2-3 more rounds of this. Well, guess what? We'll do another round together. If you guys decide to do another round, what do you think happens? Your body's going to learn a different habit. And then if you guys eat well, you use your tools, right? We've taught you about so many tools, the caster pack, the colonics, the restore, the appetite suppressant, all the tools that we've given you. You can keep this going. And over the course of a month or 6 weeks, you're going to create a brand new habit for your body. It's going to be easy. to then maintain. My mom is like, Chris, I'm not, it's hard for me to eat. Good. That's what we want. When people are overeaters and I can get you to make it hard for you to eat in 1 week, that's a good thing. Great. It needs to be hard for you to eat. That's what makes doing 1 meal a day easy. That's why it's easy for me to do 1 meal a day. It's hard for me to eat. It's hard for me to eat in the morning. It's hard. So because it's hard, I'm going to do the easy thing, which is not eat. Animated Mel, what do you think?
I agree. I mean, shout out to your mama for participating, doing the thizzle out here. I think that this round of, or this fast, or this particular challenge in general, it has like new energy around it. It's like more like everyone. I feel like everyone is asking questions, and like everyone, and I don't mean it like, man, why y'all keep asking questions? It's more like you can see the eagerness to get healthy. Like everyone is around, and like the conversations are going back and forth, and similar to what Stephen and everyone already just spoke about. It's like you see how many people have already lost weight and how much benefit people are getting from doing this dry fast. And like there's always pictures, and there's comments being spoken about when it comes to a new challenge, but I feel like the participation and engagement for this one, it's like it's consistent. It's like it's just really consistent, and I think that speaks to the level of commitment that people have for themselves, and also the guides and all of the information that's provided from this particular challenge that allows people to just feel like, man, okay, I'm not worried about this, because there's a lot of initial worries that people have when they're going into any type of challenge, especially like a dry fast, because most people hear dry fast, I'm not eating nothing, I'm not doing nothing, and that could be something that makes you deter away from a challenge. But I'm seeing everyone overcome things, and they're noticing like, oh man, I'm walking and I'm not even feeling joint pain anymore. It's not as intense. And so like, I just think overall, like it's a beautiful thing. And so for everyone who's currently in the DR96, just keep going. Like we're about to go into the second cycle now, and I'm sure that everyone's already experienced a lot of the benefits that you get from going on a dry fast of this magnitude. And like even getting to this particular point in time, like it's good to acknowledge how many barriers that you've already broken down, and how many limits that you've already surpassed, and how you've been able to understand how capable you are once you dedicate yourself to something that really matters to you, and how powerful you are for even getting to this point in time where you wanting to recommit to yourself in this second cycle. So it's an amazing thing. So I just want to remind everyone to just stay focused. Remember the ultimate goal at hand, that you're not just fasting, you're transforming yourself, and you're stepping into the person that you've always meant to be. So, just keep going. And, I'm sending nothing but love and good energy to everyone out there.
Amen. Appreciate that, man. Listen, I'm still going through these comments. I see you guys are asking some questions. So we are starring the questions we see. We'll get to those shortly. Yes, I'm seeing some cool stuff in the chat. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to Jazz so she could give her insight, because I want to give all the coaches a chance, and we're gonna get back to you guys and your questions here shortly. Go ahead, Jazz.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, just to veggie back off of kind of what everyone else is saying, it's been like major engagement, and it's so awesome. I like to make a post every day, or most days of the week, and the comments and replies to my posts, it's just been like, wow, this is so amazing. I'm so happy that everyone's here, and just like really like embracing all this, the information, the learning, and really understanding that the body is confined by space, but the mind is confined by perspective. So within this, we're being able to really expand our perspective through this process. And on I guess it was Friday, I made a post, like, what are you celebrating? We've been led to believe that celebration is, something big, but who's to judge, what's big or small? So I asked everyone, like, hey, what are you celebrating today? Of course, it was, day one of the refeed, but the variety of comments from, non-scale victories of like lowered inflammation, being able to, cross your legs easily and comfortably, being able to, hear yourself better, from like an internal standpoint, and be able to have more insight, the sight within yourself, all this within these 4 days. And of course, the scale victories. And so many people said, this is my first dry fast and I completed it. And, I didn't even know that, being able to go without food or water was even possible. So like my mind is expanding. So I just want to commend everyone for seeing that post, commenting, and really being able to see, fasting is like a holistic experience of, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and just, we just want to remember that, we can't spell a challenge without change. So I'm just so happy for everyone and, all the accomplishments.
Oh man, this is man. Somebody put in my comment section, because you guys know I've been doing all these dry fasting videos on YouTube, and somebody put in my comment section, "Come on, Chris, man, don't leave water behind." And I'm like, shoot, the way these results are, we leaving water behind. Like, what you talking about? I'm an outcome based person, y'all. I love testimonials. Like y'all, the way y'all are giving me life right now. This comment section is crazy. Somebody mentioned, why does my water taste sweet? And then someone said, because you sun charging it. They say I'm using a copper bottle. Hey, copper charges water as well. Okay. So what the only difference is, your taste buds are sensitive to the change. That's it. The water been tasting like that. You just haven't been able to perceive it. No different from when I was when I very first went on my first fasting stint, and I remember eating a bell pepper for the first time, just like eating a raw bell pepper. I had never even really done that, not for real. And I'm like, I did not know bell peppers were sweet. Yep. It's like, yeah, it's crazy. So, Shell, I'm gonna give you the opportunity to go ahead and give your input on what you've experienced and seen so far, and then you can grab these questions and we'll start knocking those out.
Okay. I feel like all the coaches have said great things, so I'm not so much going to give what I've seen so far. I'm going to challenge everyone. I love a good challenge within a challenge. Now that we have 1 week under our belt, we've completed our prep, we've completed first round. I want you all to start thinking about your story. I'm really big on, like, I used to write a lot when I was younger, and I love telling a good story or reading it or hearing it. Just think about if you have your grandchildren sitting at your feet, or your great grands at some point, and you tell them about this experience. Tell them where your mindset was going into it, why you started, the experience, everything you can remember that you have been able to feel and to see, and the community of it all, just everything as it has unfolded, and just get out you'll be dry fasting soon. I saw someone put in the comments that said, I just didn't know what to do with my time. Get a pen, paper, pencil, or whatever, and just write your story to this point, or just at the start of this, because I think that it's been so powerful, and it's been such a powerful movement. And seeing the comments and listening to the stories, and I read a post about someone said that they didn't know what to expect at the beginning of prep, and they just decided to follow the process, and they have had so far amazing results. This is a great time to reflect, because it's not over yet. And so you can remember a lot of things of where you were before you started, and you can track where you are now, and then pick back up on this story once this part of our challenge ends, because this could very well be the story that you tell your family that changes lives for the future because of what you've decided to do right now. So if you're looking for something to do during all this downtime you have from not cooking, preparing meals, unless you're doing it for your family, start getting those creative juices flowing, because you're in a space now where you've cleared some mucus from the brain. You can probably remember a little bit more. You probably feel better. So I'm just going to challenge you to start writing out your story and just think about, just be as creative as you possibly can, because we're creative beings. And, not everyone can tell a story the same way. Some people may do it better, but you never know what you may be able to do when you start putting pen to paper and you start thinking about your story, be as vivid as possible, because this is a monumental moment. Dry fasting is not something that most people just wake up and just do. And you all have been able to do it up until this point. So dig deep and let's see what feelings and emotions and thoughts and all of the things can come out of you based off what you've been able to do so far. And then also take some pictures. If you did your before pictures, like I asked, now is a good time to check in mid while we're in the middle of this, and then you do your final ones. So just to check in and tap into that creativity. That's all I got.
All right, you got questions?
And we do have questions.
Hey, why you pull that up, Shell? I just want to point this out. Zeke said he said I would lose 43 pounds. I believed him, so I'm here, 31 pounds down. Let's go. I just wanted you to see that, Chris. I know you had something going on, but that's amazing.
Oh yeah, I think my camera's on like a little 30-minute timer, but yeah, that's incredible. I when it comes to the weight loss thing, obviously everyone's experience is going to be a little different with the weight loss. I do my best to tell you guys, what the average is going to be, or if I might say we could lose up to, I try to give you guys realistic numbers. But yeah, if you had it to lose, right? If you had it to lose, then yeah, dry fasting it's knockout king.
Yeah. All right, we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So some of these might seem a little outdated just because it's been a week and we've already gotten into the fasting, but we will go over them anyway. I did the prep according to the guide. I got the tools, but did not use it today except for the tea, big tea drinker. I didn't get to see the video on how to use it until today, 2/23/25. Maybe it's 3/23. Can I use it during the refeed? Also, I cannot do an enema or colonic. Do you know if I will still get a good result? I'm just going to say, as far as the question, as far as can you use it during the refeed, I would just encourage you to go back and watch our video or the video that Chris shared on how to use your product and when to. It's in the events tab as it relates to any past videos. You just have to go to past. So you can get more detail, like full step by step on how to use your products, when to do them, and all of that.
But the answer is yes, you can use your tea during the refeed.
Yes. Good. And then the second part was, since you can't do an animal or a colonic, do you know if I will still get good results? I'll let y'all answer that.
Yeah, the enema and the colonic are designed. Look, when you guys come off your dry fast, what's one of the big, I wouldn't say complaints, but what's one of the big thing, Chris? I didn't have a bowel movement. Well, a lot of y'all did actually. Usually leading up to the last day of the dry fast, y'all be talking about your bowel movements, but most of y'all, one person was like, I started drinking water and I started pooping a lot. Is that normal? Yes. Like you want the poop to come out, right? So if you felt constipated or your bowels had slowed, then the colonic, you guys got to understand, my goal is to give you a plethora of tools that you could use. It's like you have a bat belt. Batman's belt, his utility belt. When he fights the Joker, when he fights Two-Face, he doesn't use every tool every time, but he's got it in case he needs it. You guys need to play with the tools, get familiar with how your body responds, and then you'll know what to use when. And if you don't need it now, great, you still have it. So you don't need all of the tools. I've said this, at the beginning. The tools and the things we recommend, none of them are needed to be successful, but I bet some of y'all found them to be extremely helpful when you had them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What does it mean if I am urinating much less on day 1 of the dry fast? What does a typical urination pattern look like on days 1 through 4 of the dry fast?
Shoot, man. I mean, that's so. There's so many. It's such an individualistic thing, but here's my little take on that. What it could look like is, you might be going a couple of times a day. You might go a couple of times a day. It's not, you're not drinking anything. You're not over drinking anything. Your body's not over processing anything. So you might go just like there. My experience actually, what was it, a Monday or Tuesday or something like that? I think no, maybe it's whatever. It doesn't matter the day, but I will urinate frequently. And I think, and for me, because there's been a lot of shifts in my body, specifically this past week. But there was a day where I think I only went twice, which is highly abnormal for me. And I'm like, okay, this is good. Like I'm finally getting back to a more regular place. But the answer is day 1 through 4. I mean, not that much. You're not going to go that much. So it's, whatever your norm is, if it's half that, if it's even less, don't be shocked. Don't be, it's everything's good. You're not taking in any extra liquid. So your body's going to do what it does. And then the extra that is in there, we'll get rid of it when he or she feels like it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Can you speak on how to dry fast? No, can you speak on? No, I'm sorry, y'all. I just crossed out the one that I wanted to read. I'm like, that's not the one I just read.
Get it together, Shell.
All right. Okay. Hello, team. I wanted to know if dry fasting could help with artery health, specifically reducing buildup in the arteries, calcium, fat, and so on.
Yes.
Yeah, big time. Getting rid of all the inflammation that's clogging them up, but 2, even allowing the arterial walls to heal via the entire process.
Yeah, it's a powerful tool for just overall healing. Can you speak on how dry fasting helps release emotional trauma? Are we supposed to do anything to make it happen, or how do we know it's happening?
Man,
Mhm.
somebody was experiencing that emotional release during the prep, because when I had my question out there, they were experiencing even during the prep. So these type of stuff like that doesn't always present in the time that we're doing the thing. I know for water fasting, because from that video that me and Chris did all them years ago, usually it'll take a little bit, maybe a few weeks into a fast. For dry fasting, I would imagine it would happen faster, but I don't know if 4 days is quite enough. However, you're still detoxing all kinds of things in that time. So wait, what was the question again, Shell? Like
It
how?
was about emotional detox. So let me read it one more time. Can we add? I keep crossing them out. Can you speak on how dry fasting helps release emotional trauma? Are we supposed to do anything to make it happen? And how do we work? How do we know it's happening?
Okay, so I'd say like that a lot of these emotional the emotional improvements will just kind of happen. And when for example, if you're typically an emotional eater, and this is you're on your fast, and the thing that happens that normally triggers that emotional response, and you don't do it, that is a case of I'm getting through this thing, this an emotional thing, and I'm now overcoming it, because in the moment that it's happening, you're not responding like you typically would. And it's not as grandiose as, oh, I just had this cathartic moment, and the trees were they were and the birds were singing in just the right way, and it all clicked and made sense. Like, no, sometimes it's just that flow, just that moment of, oh, it okay, cool. Or just the fact that you are settled, you feel settled, and you're able to think clearly through something. So it's not always as grandiose. Sometimes it's just that grounded feeling, and you're able to get through whatever it is that's ailing you without any like extraneous circumstances. So and it depends. It depends, because the type of who the person is, how long they've been doing stuff, how open they are to wanting to heal, to wanting to let go, and then using this stuff, the kind of stuff that you do in your own mind, the work that you do in your own mind in private. Like, there's so many different factors that impact it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll add to it, because based on the question and how it reads to me, it's as if you're looking for something to happen. And this could or could not be the case. So if you're live, just let us know. You can give us a little bit more insight. But for anyone that might be experiencing the emotional side or thinking like it's coming, a few things can happen. So sometimes you may have experienced that small change or small trigger, or not, the trigger may not be small, but something triggered you and you didn't normally do what you typically do. That's something to reflect on. So that's why it's a good idea to journal. Someone put it in the chat. Check in, do your mental checks. Just ask yourself how you're feeling mentally, emotionally, and just reflect on your day or an experience or whatever the case may be. But also, if you are experiencing those big bursts of just emotional, um, just an experience. There are different tools that you can use throughout the day, throughout this process, to help your body as it is becoming more balanced. And essential oils is one, and balanced essential oil is one It helps to be grounded. It helps to ground you. It helps you to get closer to your center, almost like just stepping outside and putting your feet in the dirt. So if you're someone that you deal with emotional maybe imbalance and different things more frequently, consider grabbing a bottle of the balanced essential oil, or having lavender going throughout the day just regularly, because it just helps with managing and maintaining emotions, so that as this process is going and you're just healing, you can identify it better, and you can check in, and you'll be able to really notice some change or help keep yourself grounded. So lavender and balance are two of the essential oils. Balance is a blend of oils, but something to consider having on hand, just in a diffuser, or keep it in your bag, smell it from the bottle. Aromatherapy is great for emotional healing as your body's doing its thing naturally. And for the balance, I just suggest rubbing it under the sole of the feet. All right, so can we add good fats in the refeed, like in homemade bone broth or on steamed vegetables in small amounts? Yes. Yes, you can. Mm-hmm.
You can also do coconut oil
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
avocado,
Go ahead.
olive oil. You know,
High quality, of course.
high quality, of course.
High
I buy
quality.
mine from like one of them grassroots companies that has the story, and they go and they pick the trees that they're gonna pluck the olives from, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it comes in a tin can. It's yeah,
I buy
but the
my olive oil from Morocco.
quality is crazy though.
Dang, Morocco.
I'm so serious.
Y'all are on another level.
I'm so
Oh,
serious.
so bougie. Oh.
All mine says organic, cold press. I'm usually okay. You know what I
That
mean?
part.
Yeah, no, the goal is, when you get high quality, you get
You
it
can
in
see the
one
difference.
area, you want to keep it going. But yeah, just as long as you get a quality oil. Because our goal here, if y'all look at the food that we suggest, or just when we speak, you know, we want, in order for this to be a lifestyle and to maintain, you gotta make it tasty. That's how we roll over here. Like, you want to make sure you have tasty food, just quality food. So it's okay to add a little oil if that's what you're into. Some people don't want to use oil at all, and that's fine too. Okay. I'm a little confused after watching no one loses 6 inches in one day, right? I'm currently doing the DR96 challenge, but after I saw Chris's video, I'm not sure what to follow. I'm looking for the fastest way to transform my body, taking fat off and shrinking it down. Is this challenge just prepping us for longer dry fasting? I've already done 7 or 8 days, but regained weight after on my own. I'm feeling good to go longer right now if that's the goal. I don't want to break this fasting streak just to start over again if longer is the goal. Is there a way to get this answered before tomorrow's refeed? Sorry. Thanks for the clarification. I wanted to also ask, I'm not losing the normal 2 pounds a day as of today. I'm only down 10.3 only. 10.3 pounds is a lot. I've got at least 50 to 70 pounds to lose. Ooh,
I'll answer maybe one of the 10.
okay.
So like with the you know, the fast, you know, Chris always says, you know, your most successful fast is the one you can complete. You know, also your most sustainable fast is the one you can complete. And the way you're able to, you know, create a continuation of it and whatever cycle most resonates with you would be a success. So if you can go longer, you know, by all means, but if you find yourself, you know, overindulging in the refeed, then you have to be able to create a balance. You know, I know there's this really great, powerful YouTube video that Stephen created about like, what is your fasting personality type? You know, are you an abstainer or a moderator? And I mean, it can apply probably for like water fasting and dry fasting, right? Stephen is just like fasting is fasting, right? So maybe we can find it and drop that link. But, you know, people that are moderators would, you know, have shorter fasts with the refeed and then go back in it. Sometimes people are abstainers would do longer fasting, and a long fast is considered anything, you know, 3 days or over. So, you know, that's something for you to be able to lean into. You know, if you have found that, you know, dry fasting is an ideal protocol for you and you can see yourself continuing to do the DR96 up until you reach your goal, then that's beautiful. But if it becomes, you know, you're experiencing a lot of fasting fatigue, you know, you get to pivot and make it, you know, more realistic for you based on the month that you're in. So, you know, we can't, you know, totally tell you what you should do, but, you know, of course we, you know, are making recommendations. But I think that one of those questions, I think that could help answer it.
Yeah, I think with this one, it was a lot of information. But the other question was about losing, losing as much. Oh, go back.
Oh, they're talking about a specific video. I think there's confusion. Okay. They're talking about a specific video where I describe how we were able to learn about the fasting shrink week by monitoring Stephen's fasting journey back in 2017 or 18 when he was doing water fasting. I don't think Stephen wasn't even doing no dry fasting back then. So I think there's overlap and a little confusion. You shouldn't be, if you guys are in the DR96, don't go to videos in YouTube and try to compare and contrast. It's confusing for no reason. We're doing the DR96, and that's the protocol you guys should be following. I told you all when we started this is the most powerful protocol we've ever put together. I put different information on YouTube. I'm not teaching YouTube how to do the DR96 the way I'm teaching you guys. I even did a video on YouTube talking about the DR96. The protocol is not what you guys are learning. So just simply do not go to YouTube and try to integrate what I'm teaching on YouTube into this challenge. Follow the challenge as outlined. If your goal is to lose weight, you're in the right place. If your goal to lose inches, you're in the right place. That's I think there's just confusion there. So let me just say I'm not going to try to teach, like, help you understand and make bridge that between that video and what we're doing here, because they're not comparable.
Yeah. And that being said, the last part of the question about how much weight being lost, not losing 2 pounds a day anymore. She did mention that she's been dry fasting for at least 7 to 8 days at this point. So the weight loss adjusts with the time that you're fasting. But as long as you continue to fast, you'll continue to lose the weight.
It sounds like they're not following. It sounds like this person's not actually following the DR96.
It doesn't seem,
because there's nowhere where we talk about fasting for 7 days. So it's hard for us to help you guys if you're doing your own thing. And that's not to say it's good or bad. It's just I don't know what you're doing. I don't know how did you prep? How long did you prep? What did you do on your prep? What tools are you using? You guys understand, like, it's there's hundreds of you, there's only 6 of us. So we can't know what every individual person is doing. But don't get confused by YouTube. Do the DR96. If you want to adjust it, talk to a coach, make your adjustments, but you have to also change your expectations with those adjustments.
Mm-hmm. And she could be saying she's done a 7 or 8 in the past or has already done it. I can't really quite understand, but I do think that last statement you made as far as getting with the coach is probably one of the best things to do with such a detailed question and statement to make sure you're on track. But as long as you're following the protocol, you're definitely going to lose weight and release, and shrink. Okay, let's move on. Let me cross that one out. Hi, since water fasting can resolve infertility issues, I assume it is the same for dry fasting. Do you know how many days someone has to dry fast in order to resolve infertility issues? I will turn 41 in April and was diagnosed with both endometriosis and adenomatosis. Okay.
Endometriosis?
And endometriosis is one. ADENOMATOSIS is the other. That's new to me, or maybe just new to me saying it. But 2, infertility. I guess it's disorders. I'm not sure if I'm using the proper terminology, but I don't know if we can give a specific timeline. If you dry fast for 2 weeks, then it will reverse. But I do know that if you are dry fasting, then healing will take place, because for sure, just for me alone, with just changing my eating habits, made a tremendous difference with my reproductive system. So you change your eating, start water fasting and dry fasting, then you just check in. I think that check in and see, I don't know, do a follow-up or anything like that after your 2-week cycle of this to see how things are going, because the body starts healing pretty quickly, and you'll start seeing changes, even if it's not completely eliminated, but you'll be going in the right direction.
Big time.
So we can't give you a specific date number, but if you're doing the protocol, you're healing. All right. If one didn't have strong detox symptoms, does that mean that they did or didn't detox a lot? And will the detox symptoms be more, less, or the same in the next cycle?
Everyone's different. So some people are not going to have extreme detox symptoms in the beginning, and some people will. So for example, when I very first started fasting, I experienced almost no detox symptoms. Like my first 5-2 cycle, I experienced almost nothing. And I told Chris, I'm like, bro, this is easy. And as I then continued to go through my fasting, that's when detox symptoms started to come. So everyone's a little bit different. And I know somebody else said something about, not experiencing a lot of detox symptoms. Everyone's different based upon how they live their life, the types of toxins and chemicals and foods they have that are detoxing. and the how open their detox pathways are. So just because you don't have massive detox symptoms does not mean that you're not detoxing. It's going to be different for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say too, I did create this program in order to mitigate detox symptoms. There's a very heavy emphasis on that. So depending on how closely you're following the protocol, you might experience that as well. So for example, I experience heavy detox symptoms on my fasting. Typically, if I don't do anything extra, if I just simply I'm fasting, no, I'm not using no extra tools, no nothing, my detox symptoms are pretty rough. This challenge, not so much. So
Yeah. All right, this is the final question I have here on the form. Hi guys, since I am currently fasting for Ramadan, I will start my challenge in April. Will I have to? Well, I have to admit, during every AHA challenge I have done so far, I always lose control during the prep and end up gaining weight. I don't know what to do to prevent this time in this challenge. It might come from my binge eating disorder. However, dry fasting is way easier for me than prep. I also know that I have all or nothing mentality I've been trying to get rid of. Thanks for your help. So it's not really a question,
I was about to
just
say.
for sharing.
I would just say probably one of the best things you can do is find accountability. So whether that be working with one of the coaches, you can make posts inside of AHA communities, you can join PAM, you can join PAC. There's multiple different tools that AHA has for accountability. And that's one of the best things that you can do, just so that you are telling somebody, hey, this is what my plans are, and then checking in with them and letting them know, okay, things went well, things didn't go well, and staying connected. But just probably one of the easiest things that you can do, because there wasn't really a question there, but I understand what you're saying. Get locked into something. If you're probably kind of in the background just floating, put yourself in the foreground, and that may help you. But of course, we also have other tools and stuff to help you with all the other things that you're talking about. But that's a little bit of a different issue that requires way more. But the first thing you can do is just find someone or one of the groups to become accountable to.
Yeah.
I think the question was, how can I increase my chance of success on my prep? Because I eat and I go out of control. Max out on the tools. Like this is the reason why I give y'all so many tools. And people be like, do we got to use everything? No, you don't. But if you're this individual, maybe you should. Maybe you should be taking Sculpt during your prep and even before you're prepped, right? Just a daily supplement. Take Sculpt. And then maybe you should also be using the appetite suppressant tea. And then also maybe you just need to be using the SP6 patches, right? That way you're using as many tools as you can to throw at the biggest challenge you have, which is not being consistent during your prep, which is really messing up your whole process. Like, that's why I give y'all so many tools. So max out on the tools. There's no problem with using all of those tools during your prep. Use them all. Use them until they work. And then when you do your prep, do it properly. And just eat as much raw food as you can. Eat as much fruits and vegetables as you can. Get as much liquid in as you can, right? And then when you feel like you've got a good grasp on that, do your juice. Do your green juice. I would stay away from the sweet juice. This is for you specifically. Do your green juice, low glycemic juice. Max out on it 2 days. And then start fasting. That's why I give y'all the tools. If you know that you're not good at something, use the tools. They are a cheat. In real life, y'all, you are allowed to cheat to win. We're not in school. No one's telling you you can't use these, you've got the algebraic formula written down, but you can't use it on the test. Nah, we're not in school anymore. Break that mentality. Use the tools. It's okay.
Yeah, I want to add, real quick to that, and this is not just for this comment, but it made me think about it. reading this statement, she said that this, and it may be my binge eating disorder. I'm gonna ask that anyone here that knows if you're a procrastinator, or if you know you have negative thoughts, or even if you've been diagnosed with depression, anxiety, when you refer to these things, relinquish ownership of these things. Don't call it mine. It is not yours if you do not want it. Just release that. And that alone is something that will anchor you, because sometimes we either lean on that if we fall short. Well, I do know I have this issue. This is my thing. Let that go, because that's something that it either can bring in negative thoughts to say, this is what I always do, I'm not going to get any better, or it could be your crutch. But whatever, either way, relinquish ownership of that. Let that go, so that you can dig deeper into what it is that you truly want, what it is that you do want to say is mine. Victory is mine. The ability to heal is mine. Being consistent is me. It is who I am. So that's just a part. That's a mental piece of it.
I think that's a big one too. Because the way that you talk to yourself, I mean, I do it all the time. I've been doing it for years. I mean, obviously I teach from my personal experience, but even with the shifting in my life personally, and I was feeling kind of down, and I'll just leave it like that. And I just had to say, oh, everything's going to be all right. Like, I'm going to be all right. I am all right. Everything is okay. Literally, I repeated it to myself so many times yesterday because it was important during that moment for me to do that. And then I went to sleep, of course, and the sun was super bright today. It was so beautiful today. I don't know what it was. I don't know if there was something about it, but it takes that. It takes you advocating for you, and whatever that looks like for you. But you have to, like, because nobody else can do it for you. It's just like, I mean, we can help, we can uplift, but it's so much power when you take the reins of your own life and you start affirming things, even if they're not true yet. Like, who cares if they're not true yet? But before action must come thought. Before the thing is made manifest, it has to be energy. So, yeah, it's not going to be true yet. But the more you speak it and the more you affirm it, then the truth will show itself in time. So you just, we got to advocate for ourselves. And in this case, especially.
Mm-hmm.
I'll add on just like one last thing. I don't know if this was a YouTube video that Chris did or part of the first AHA retreat speech. It all kind of runs together, but he said that, we don't need to treat our, temporary diseases of the body as our pet, right? We don't need to like nourish it and take care of it and keep it alive and well and around, because that will keep it alive and well and around, right? It's not our pets. We're, like Shell said, let go of it. So I don't know, there's a link for that video, but this stuff is great. Like, I'll remember this stuff. That's why I want to like reshare it, because it's powerful. So yeah,
I think I did say that at the retreat.
Oh, it was retreat. Okay.
I think it was. Yeah, let those pets go. All right, which is better for gut health, healing, inflammation? Fresh pressed green juice or smoothies, please?
Green juice. Green juice. And the reason is because you're going to have so much more. But you're going to have so much more like nutrition and non-soluble fiber that actually makes it down into the gut. If you think about a smoothie, right, you have fruit and you have stuff, but you have all of that extra fiber, which is good. But when you have the green juice, it's so much more, and you're just getting the juice, and that all goes down to the gut. So green juice would be better.
Okay, I agree with that. If I'm on antibiotics, can I take Clean Slate? Does anybody remember there were some things about Clean Slate that they had recommended not to use it with?
I don't remember anything or there being an issue.
I feel like it was I remember one example was about like the cancer medication.
Yeah, a lot of times clean slate is like a passive detoxer, but it can detoxify a lot of things out your body. So it might not even benefit you when you take it for the antibiotics and maybe the cancer medications you're saying. Is that
Right, and you'll just have to, and if you finish them and then start taking them, but take even smaller amounts and work your way up, because it can intensify the detox process as well, especially if you're just coming out of them. It's been a while since we looked at that, but I think I remember
using them at the same time is kind of redundant, honestly. Man, I when it comes to antibiotics, let's
deal with the word antibiotic. What does that mean?
Antibiotic. Antibody.
Life.
No.
Against life.
Against life. Okay.
Yes. I can't get jiggy with the antibiotics. There's so many other ways to heal the body and rebalance the microbiome, or like it's
yeah.
When do I take the Restore? You take Restore this weekend. You could have taken it Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
So today's your last day.
According to my scale, all of my stats are in normal range and normal to average range. What I find interesting was that my body's water percentage increased even though I wasn't drinking water. I start this because I wanted you guys to see this. We talked about how your body creates metabolic water. So for those who had got the scales, when we very first started the challenge, I recommended some scales, the Body Pod scale. It will give you water readouts. There's other scales that do it too, but that was one of the reasons why I wanted you guys to get these scales to give you all of these different factors. If you could see 17 plus indicators of your health when you're doing the dry fast, you can see more than just the weight. That way you guys can see how dynamic the body is and how you're improving your health overall. But this is incredible. Steven, is it normal for lower abdominal to burn?
Oh, I asked a follow-up to this, and I was asking if it was burning like after you do sit-ups or crunches type burn, or like acid reflux type burn. So once again, everyone's a little different. So anything that you would experience typically on a fast or after the fast that is abnormal, and I know people hate this response sometimes, but usually would be considered a detox symptom. So is it normal? I mean, I can't say that normally people experience that, but depending on you, it may be something that you experience. So having acid reflux or anything of that nature could definitely be a detox symptom. So I would say yes. So what I'm saying is there's no call for concern.
Yeah, acid reflux.
Oh, okay.
What is causing my water to taste sweet? So I think I already addressed that, but I'll just say, like, sun charging your water will cause your water to taste sweet. Putting in a copper container can cause your water to taste sweet. Any type of structuring of your water can cause it to taste sweet. And the fact that you're resetting your taste buds will allow you to taste it for the first time. So that's really all that is. Will we still have access to PAC? Yeah. Anybody, you guys are all part of AHA communities now, every single one of you. So you have access to PAC. I noticed that I'm craving more vegetables and fruits as opposed to junk when I water fast. Why is that? It's they're saying they're craving different things than they normally crave when they fast.
Yeah.
I think that's a good problem to have, right? Especially if you're craving veggies and fruits opposed to junk food. Man, because I remember when I did a fast, I was craving all the negative stuff, like everything that I didn't have in years. But I think that's just your body's response to what it actually needs versus what you've been giving it. So now that it's been able to have that little break, it's like, hey man, I need some more of them veggies. You know what I mean? I need some of them fruits and veggies in me. So once you detox and you cleanse your body of all that, or cleanse yourself of all those negative things that you've been putting in it, your body's getting rebalanced. It's getting back on its path of becoming healthier and putting you exactly where you need to be. So, I mean, I think it's a beautiful it's a beautiful problem to have.
Yeah. And to add on, like fasting, it resets your taste buds. So you're able to taste things differently. So, even when you taste it, something, I mean, I know you're craving more fruits and vegetables, so this is just an aside note, but when you try more unhealthier things, it's like you can actually taste the chemicals. You're like, how did I was ever able to eat this? Because it's like you can literally taste the chemicals because your taste buds have reset. So even when you're eating like more fruits and vegetables now, you can really taste the sweetness of fruits and things, and you can taste the artificial sweeteners and the not natural sweeteners. So it's a really powerful way to be able to, eat healthier as well. So, yeah.
It's important to remember, like dry fasting is not water fasting. So it's fun to compare, but they're not the same thing. And what you experience with dry fasting is exponential compared to water. This is something that you may experience with water, right? But maybe you just don't fast long enough. You haven't fasted deep enough. You haven't, got to the level of detox you need to get to experience this yet. So dry fasting pulls it up quicker. Could be many different things, honestly. How often / long can we do the DR96 after this?
As long as you want, fella.
Indefinitely.
You want to keep being great? Let's go ahead and keep being great. There's no limit to it.
You guys could do this for as long as you want. It is a very safe protocol the way the way I've outlined it. So I know a lot of y'all already plan to keep going. I know a lot of y'all already plan. I'm not doing a refeed. I'm just gonna keep going, Chris. You've already told me, so it's all good. Enema while dry fasting, yes or no? Yes, definitely. And please watch, y'all. Please go watch man. I have put out so many videos for you all. I put out so much content, and it's like I don't know how to make sure y'all see it. I don't know what to do. I'm not even gonna tell y'all where it is. It doesn't matter. I've said it 100 times.
I'll say it. Go to the events tab and go. Go to the events tab. Go to past. Watch the videos, even if you watched them already, because you may have missed something. Maybe the dog was barking when someone came to the door, whatever. Go to the events tab. Go to past. Watch the videos. There's a lot of content in there that will definitely assist you.
I'm not frustrated. I just feel like my voice isn't reaching. That's all. Question: I did start having spasms in my stomach the last day of the dry fast. What can I do to minimize the symptoms without taking medication? Also, what might be the cause of the spasms?
Shoot, sometimes you just got to write it out. Honestly, there's not always a button that you can press. When your gut, because obviously you're talking about your gut, not your actual stomach, but when your gut is doing them little things, again, dry fasting is an extremely powerful process, and there's insides of of your intestinal wall, the lining is being cleaned. There's obviously muscles, covering around these areas and stuff, but part of it is that it's being cleaned, and it was happening to me. It was happening to me, and I had moments where I was like, "Oh my gosh, what is that feeling? Just gripping my stomach up, just gripping me up," and then and then it'll go away. It's just there's not always a button to press. It's just turning on that willpower, turning on that discipline, and saying, "All right, this is just part of it." So
let me add something to that, John, because you said it without saying it. Breathe. After giving birth to 2 babies naturally, one thing I've learned is how to manage pain and understanding that when the body is doing things, especially some form of spasm or contracting, the best thing to do is to breathe with it. And, you'll just create a flow. And at some point, it'll just release and it'll become normal. You'll feel okay again. But during any form of fasting, you get the heart palpitations sometimes and spasms and feeling and all that. If you're hydrated and you've done all the things, it's your body doing what it needs to do. to find its rhythm. So you just work with that rhythm and use your breath. Use your breath, and you don't want to tighten up. You just want to breathe and release and think about the fact that this will be over soon and we're finding our balance. So find some different breathing exercises that resonate with you. I always promote the box 4-4-4-4 breathing, 4-6. I've broken it down in a few different places, but just breathe through it.
It's also important to remember, and I love the fact that you don't want to turn to medication, because as Jasmine said, during this challenge, I believe you don't have a petroleum deficiency, right? Your stomach's not spasming because you need medicine. So medicine won't fix it anyway. And as John said, look, just ride it out. There was so many questions I saw during the challenge where, I guess we just didn't get to it. Like someone, let's say it's 3:00 p.m. and I'm looking at it at 6, and between 3:00 p.m. and 6, there's someone's like, hey, this has happened to me. What do I do? Oh, never mind. It went away. It's like you got, everything's not something. Does that make sense? We live in this society where we think, oh, I have a cough. What's wrong with me? Am I sick? It will have. Maybe you literally got a piece of pepper stuck in your throat. Like, everything's not something. So we have to also just be willing to give the body time. Give the body time to do what it does. It is your doctor, your lawyer, your mechanic. Like, it's going to do. Just give it time.
A lawyer? Okay.
Having no detox symptoms is just as good. Having no detox symptoms, if you're doing the dry fasting and you're doing everything we're telling you to do, hey, be happy. Okay? Be happy. I had some age spots on my face and now they're gone. I wanted to highlight that because people will tell you, yeah, of course you have age spots. You're getting older. But what do the age spots mean, right? You can study the face, and where you get age spots, pimples, rashes, it will tell you about certain systems in your body that are clogged, low functioning, or need nutrients. So the reason that the age spots start to go away is because you are finally giving the body resources to do healing, and that system, wherever you had it, is now restored. And so you've also turned back the hands of time. Isn't that amazing?
Yes, it is.
Is grapeseed oil good? Yeah, we love grapeseed oil over here. Here's the thing. High quality products, very important. Source your products. Going to the grocery store typically won't do it. Typically, you go to the grocery store, it's usually an adulterated product. I'm sorry, y'all. It just is what it is. Okay? So it's not about really we might be told, oh, we can't use olive oil to cook with. Okay. Is it that we can't use olive oil to cook with because it's going to make us sick? Or is it that the olive oil that you find in the store can't be cooked with because it's going to make you sick? Right? Is it olive oil? Or is it the product we find at the store they call olive oil that's the problem? Okay? So a lot of times, even if we're listening to Dr. Sebi, he may not have explained those things. And so we just think, oh, olive oil is just bad to cook with. No, not necessarily. We got to do our own research. We have to understand things a little deeper. But with all of that being, most of us are just going to the grocery store and buying olive oil. We're not sourcing our olive oil. A lot of us don't even know what that means. What does it mean to source our olive oil? Like, what does that mean, Chris? So it's like, people give out advice to help the general populace because we lack so much knowledge. We went to school for 12, 14, 15, 25, 100 years, and they didn't teach us anything. They didn't teach us anything except for how to push a button and turn a knob.
The other thing about the oils is the cooking temperature. So some of these things become rancid when taken above a certain temperature, which is why cooking with olive oil is bad, or cooking with coconut oil is bad. Don't cook coconut oil over a certain temperature because it goes rancid. And you think, oh, I used a high quality coconut oil. Yeah, but you took it above its operating temperature, and now it's rancid regardless. So just want to throw that in there.
When during refeed, can I eat boiled peanuts if I make them myself, John?
Wait, hold on. First of all, where's she from? Boiled peanuts.
The South.
Is that a Southern thing?
I thought it was.
Pretty
They're all over the corners and stuff. But I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, if you make them yourself, I mean, yeah, why? Well, I mean, you know, what they say about the peanuts, you know, they're not good for you or whatever. But I would trust boiled peanut nuts that I made myself versus the ones I bought in the store. I mean, anytime you make it yourself, you already have a higher quality product.
Anybody got anything on that else?
Yeah, I just want to add, just be careful the amount that you eat. Nuts in general. I tell people, especially those on a weight loss journey, be very careful. They're high in fat, and while fats are good, and you want to get them from a good source, they're also extremely dense. There's a ton of calories. Same with cashews. I was speaking to a client the other day, and we were talking about nuts, and she's like, "Oh, well, can I eat nuts?" Da da da. And I'm like, "Listen, yeah, but be very careful." And I told her how many calories were in a cup of cashews, and it blew her mind. Right? You think about a cup of cashews, it's about a small. You reach into a thing of cashews, and that's probably about a cup. It's like 768 calories in a cup of cashews. And normally we don't eat a cup. We'll get a bag or whatever, and we just go at it. And you don't realize that you ate 1,400 calories. And you'd be like, I didn't eat that much. Why did I gain weight on my refeed, Steven? What did you eat? Come to find out, you've been snacking on cashews and peanuts all day. Yeah, you're eating 3,000 calories of something that is not hydrating. So yeah, so just be very mindful. So just keep it easy with nuts in general.
Peanuts are a legume, but go ahead.
You said peanuts are a bean?
Legume, yeah.
Just keep it easy keep it easy.
Look, keep it easy when you eat like plant children. Okay? Seeds, nuts, beans,
seeds.
Things. Look, here's what y'all gotta understand. When a seed, a nut, a bean, whatever, any of that, whatever. John ain't gonna get me. That has enough. That thing has enough energy to create the tree, the plant, the whole thing, and produce thousands of seeds. All of that potential energy is in that thing. So it is very energetically dense. It's a very dense thing. Period.
1 cup of peanuts, 828 calories. It's more than the cashews. Wow. There was a lady at the retreat, not this last year, but the year before, and she was like, Steven, I got to get off these peanuts. I'm eating them like crazy, and I can tell, and I know it's the peanuts because that's the only thing in my diet. 828 calories, and you're supposed to eat 2,000 calories a day. You have 2 cups of cashews, you're over 1,600 calories. If you eat anything, you're over your 2,000, right? And if you're not active, it's even worse. Just, you got to be careful with plant children. As Chris said, they have the power to grow an entire plant. So they're dense. Be mindful.
What copper water bottle do you recommend? Mel, I'm sure you have a suggestion maybe for like a brand or something, but I'll just say, just make sure it's pure copper. That's the most important thing.
I didn't have a brand or anything. I mean, I was literally just going to say the exact same thing as far as like copper, because a lot of times their bottles, they'll like mix it with different things. So just look at the I guess the company, if it's a trusted company, read them reviews. I'm the king of reviews. So,
and if you use a magnet on it, like copper is not magnetized, right? Is that what it is?
Nah, at least not in the. Some of them have it. Like I have like these.
But that has magnets on it.
Yeah.
Not
right.
Like the metal itself isn't
magnetic.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's like one of the tricks. You can find out if your stuff is fake or not. Okay, I busted out in tears when I was about to take my first sip of water on my refeed. That was a actual spiritual experience. That's why I wanted to highlight this. See, we talk about the physical, we talk about the mental. This was a spiritual experience. And don't ever forget that. That's a very powerful and important moment for you specifically.
And we talk
So-
about that. We talk about that emotional detox. Like that that emotion right there of, oh my gosh, why did that have so much meaning to you in that moment? I mean, I'd say definitely just ponder on that.
Yeah. Coughing was chronic for as long as I can remember. After 2 weeks, I noticed it's completely stopped. Not to mention my lower pain has almost disappeared. Thank you, AHA. I just had to highlight this one.
That's powerful. That mucus is no joke. Like just not. I don't know if it was mucus or not, but that cough, like people kind of, you just get used to it, and then one day it's like, wait, it's not here anymore. That's amazing. I hope y'all write this stuff down. Please write it
For
down.
real.
Especially this is like one of the best non-scale victories because our stepmom, Steve John, y'all remember there was a time when she got a cough, and I think it was either right before they had got married. My dad and her had got married. It was either right before or right after. And that chronic cough, I remember 3 months had gone by, she still had the cough. And Steve and John, y'all might remember more succinctly if she had that cough all the way up until
had that cough until she passed. It was literally 20. It was literally like 20 years.
Okay. I don't know, but I believe that cough that was a huge indicator of her health and what was going on, and ultimately what caused her to pass. Like I think that cough, because I remember I was like, that cough is weird. I was only like 9 or 10, but I was like, there's something wrong with that, majorly wrong. Okay, so that chronic cough stuff. If you guys deal with chronic coughs, or you know somebody deal with chronic coughs, don't ignore it. Don't just try to suppress it. It could become something huge in the future. Huge. Okay. And look, we were able to reverse it here in 2 weeks just from doing a prep and a fast. Gone. Who knows what you just avoided? So congratulations. Thank you.
Hey, Steven, you got him out here scared. You got him scared to eat these nuts, man. Look, I'm gonna eat my pistachios.
I didn't say pistachios. Somebody just said pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are much better. I said we were talking about cashews and peanuts. These are some big offenders. Those are really big numbers.
Yeah.
Like, bro, Mel eats a lot of nuts too. He probably over there thinking.
You eat more nuts than me. What you talking about?
Hey, hold on a second. I don't like how you said that. You got John with a chronic cough now.
I feel like I got a chronic cough.
Let's take a turn.
Y'all don't be afraid to eat the food.
Just know what you're eating.
Just know what you're eating. And I put someone asked about this too in the group, and I'm like, just be mindful. I suggest like a handful, not like a huge one, but just a handful. That's for your entire refeed process. So
right.
But that's just because you're dry fasting too. So the best thing to do throughout this process when you're eating is eating hydrating foods. But they can be heavy on the stomach. And then, now that you have this more information about cashews and peanuts specifically, do some research, because I was just telling John, I was like, these pumpkin seeds go hard.
So
roasted pumpkin seeds are delicious. But just be mindful, and then, just a small amount throughout this process. But we don't have to just say, all right, no more, done, cut it out. It's okay. Just find your balance. Balance is very important throughout this entire process.
In contrast to nuts, your pumpkin seeds, a cup of pumpkin seeds have 285 calories, so it's not comparable. Also, pumpkin seeds are very, very nutritious. Like they're incredible. You sprinkle on your salad. Look, here's the thing. I think how we consume this stuff matters too. So if you're going to have a salad, sprinkle some pumpkin seeds on it. Don't just grab the pumpkin seeds and eat them like, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe you would do like sunflower seeds. So I think it's how we consume the food makes a difference. Obviously, Shell mentioned, look, we're supposed to be eating high water content stuff, raw stuff anyway. So where you really get in trouble is with the cashews is when you turn it into a sauce, right? You do the cashew sauce. That's crazy because now you've got, I don't know. Well, we usually make the sauce it's like a cup when those recipes.
Or two, if you're making it for a longer time. That's what was getting me.
Right.
And I was just like, oh my God, there's so much in here.
Right. So that's where you got to kind of really be careful. It's like, it's not eating it per se. It's how you consume it. Don't eat nuts as snacks. Find different snacks if you guys want a snack. You know, get some frozen blueberries and sprinkle some lemon juice on it with some honey or something. Or, you know what I mean? Like you want something sweet and candy, salty, or like there's such great options using the I don't remember if we put nuts on in our guides. I don't even know if I can't remember if they're in there for this one. If they are, that's fine. I just don't remember if we did or not. But
I don't think so.
Yeah, just learn something new. Try something new. All right. What can you put on a rash on the chest from a detox that came up day 4? Nothing. But I mean, like it's a detox rash. You don't need to put anything on it.
It's coming out.
There you go. Because I get them on my neck. I'm clearing up one now. They're on both sides. On my hips. I'm just like, well, I'm detoxing on my hands. I just like to stay moisturized. I usually have some essential oils and everything, but what I've learned is you just gotta let it ride.
Don't put nothing on it. I mean, you know, if you put a lightweight oil on top of it, you're just slowing down the process. The question is, why are you putting the oil on it, right? Like, or why are you putting anything on it? Because traditionally speaking, we think, oh, rash. Here, I see this camera done went off on me again. So I thought I found a trick. The trick ain't working.
I told you, hit the trick. Just hit the trigger
working.
button.
It's not working. But
okay.
So we think, why are we trying to? What are we trying to do to the rash? The rash ain't hurting you. The rash ain't doing nothing. The rash don't mean nothing, right? It just means the body is using it as an exit point for whatever reason. So the best thing you could do is keep that door open, wide open, and it'll go away quickly. It'll go away.
This that mentality that I gotta go put something on it to make it go away, so it goes down. Like you don't want it to go down. You want it to come up and out and leave you that way.
Exactly.
Yeah, when you start looking at what the body is doing and how miraculous it is, then you'll be like, oh, let me go sit down. Let me let my body do what it's gonna do because I'm trying to fix it. And sometimes things just don't need to be fixed. You know, when you have a conversation with a friend and you just want to vent and they're trying to fix it. Like, okay, this is what we got to do. We got to fix this and we got to fix it. Wait. I just need to release. Let your body just release. But, you know, you just have to have those conversations with yourself and just check in and say, what am I doing right now in this moment? Is this excruciating? Can I not function? You know, and even then, let me use my tools to breathe through it. This rash is not appealing, but my body's doing something. So let me just let it be.
See, if you are going to put some on it, put some energy on it, I recommend utilizing green light.
Green light.
Chris?
I ain't got nothing left. No more talking. I think we had an incredible call. Listen, y'all, I'm extremely proud of this group. I've said this in other challenges before, but I've also not said it in challenges. Like, I only say it when I mean it. This group has been incredible. This challenge has been incredible. Y'all's results have been incredible. The participation has been incredible. The questions are incredible. You know, even if I feel like some people aren't hearing my message, you know, it's less than what it normally is. Like we have way more participation. Like everything is just top notch. Okay. Everything y'all are doing very well. So I appreciate you coming and sticking around with us for an hour and a half tonight. I think we got most, if not all, the questions answered. I know some of y'all probably have more questions or whatever that we didn't get to, but we gotta stop it at some point. I don't got no more talking, man. Coaches, y'all got anything to say before we wrap up?
Hey man, we'll see y'all. We see y'all next week, man. We'll see y'all during the week. You know what I'm saying? Nice and dry.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have a live tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Shameless plug.
Out.
Yeah.
Here, check it out.
Go in and make sure you RSVP so you can get your reminders and get notified. We'll see y'all in the chat. We see you chatting it up, and make your posts. Write your stories, y'all. Write them. Some people like, I don't really want to write. It's very important and powerful to be able to go back and look at that stuff. Write your stories.
Man, I thought we was gonna have to do triage tonight. I thought people was gonna be, I done gained this much, I done gained that much. I'm like, bro, we ain't have to do none of that. Like, I'm so proud of y'all. Like, and even if there was one or two of y'all that just didn't want to put your weight out there because you felt like, it didn't align with everybody else's, well, you probably definitely should have, so we could have addressed it. But you doing all right. Just keep moving forward. We got the challenge coming up. This dry fasting this week. You'll lose all that weight you just gained. Don't worry about it, and let's keep moving forward. All right, y'all. Have a great night. Peace.
Bye.